What up, Blockheads? Today we are doing for the Yamaha R6. Yamaha. So my model here is a 2014. Basically what we're doing is we're getting rid of this entire spaceship looking piece. It looks like it was made for like another spaceship to just come from over here and like dock onto the back of it, you know, just and connect up like refueling Air Force One or something. To me, like I feel like it takes away from the lines of the bike, you know, it's just ugly clunky piece. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be taking that off today and we're going to be remounting the license plate under here. So we're going with a deeper tuck option. Obviously, first step, you want to take your license plate off. So the next step is to get this piece off. So since I have a stand, I'm going to use that. You can probably do this without a stand, but if you have one, you might as well go ahead and use it. So obviously you need to have your parts. So parts wise, we have the actual bracket that the license plate mounts to from TST Industries. We have a stealth license plate light, which we're going to be mounting as well, and wiring. We have a Fender Eliminator Closeout, which whenever we take this big piece off right here, there's gonna be a big opening right there. So that basically fills up that opening. We have a LED flasher relay. It's basically so you don't get a hyper flash. And then we have the actual integrated tail light, which is smoked, which will wire that up as well. So let's go ahead and get to taking this one off and we'll go from there. So first things first, you guys are going to want to take off the seats. So take off this seat and take off this seat. All right, now that you got those out, pretty much have access to all the wiring, the bolts, and everything that's on the inside. You got your seats removed. Now, next couple of steps, you're going to basically want to take this cowling off, or the backseat fairing, or whatever the hell you want to call it, this trim piece. To do that, you're going to press inwards on these pieces. That's going to basically undo them. After you do that, you should be able to lift them right up, just like that. Easy enough, right? Then, you're gonna have a 4mm Allen right here. And you're gonna have like a little friction piece right here, which all you're gonna do is press up. There you go. And that's how to remove that little rear trim piece. All right, so after that, you're gonna wanna disconnect the wiring because you have to get under this plate right here in order to access the bolts that are holding in the rear fender piece. You can easily replace that with a zip tie. All right, now you wanna get this little push piece as well. You're gonna, if you have a pick, you know, put it just under it, pull upwards. Those bolts are right under there. Total pain in the ass to get to them, right? To give us a little bit more clearance, I actually used 5mm hex, loosened up these bolts here, and you can just take those out. There's just a retainer pin right here, pull that out. It gives us a little bit more access where you can pull up. I've been pulling up on this and I'm able to get a socket with an extension on the first two bolts here. It's basically there and there. Getting those rear ones is going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to have to use a wrench for that. Faux show. By the way, it's a 10mm. All right, got two of those bolts off. Just to preface this point, by the way, I am no means a certified mechanic. I'm just a dude in his garage who likes his motorcycles. I'm gonna totally go chase on two wheels style here and show you guys all of the problems that I run into as well. I got that bolt out that's right there, but I dropped it, or it fell down into like further in there. So the deep dark abyss is what I'm calling it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this top little piece as well. Took these two screws out from right here, there and there, and those are 4mm hex. So after you get those removed and those removed, there are two little like hidden ones down up in here, right there. Just kind of hiding from me, little bastards. All right, now we should be able to pull this thing off. Ta-da! So let's take this bracket off so we can move the rest of this stuff. We've got a couple of hex, a couple of regular Phillips. There's probably multiple ways to do this, but this is the method that I took. If you guys have a better, easier way, please feel free to post up in the comments below. And you know, if it's a viable method, then I will be sure to pin it. As of now, this is kind of where I'm at because this pan is proving difficult. So check it out. I got this magnetic bowl, a rubber piece on the bottom, right? It's pretty awesome. I can't believe that just worked. That's amazing. Shit, maybe I could have done that for the bolt that's down in there somewhere. Man, that's amazing. I can't believe that shit worked. So yeah, since it does have soft rubber on the bottom, just make sure it's clean and boop, bracket. All right, so now we should have way more clearance to be able to work in here. Yeah, there we go. Let's get all those cables out of the way. Plenty of room. All right, so now that you got this piece loosened up, right, you're gonna wanna feed the wires down through. What a pain that was. Oh my God, I didn't think I was gonna get that deep into it. Okay, so since I'm installing the Fender Eliminator, the license plate bracket in here, basically I'm gonna have to get out a little piece there and a little piece right in there. So I need to basically move this out of the way. Let's go and do that. You can use a pick to get those out from down there. All right, that's one side. All right, then on the top side, basically it's gonna be this hole here and this hole here, since we already removed the other one. All right, so let's go ahead and drop these bolts into the holes here. And these bolts for the bracket are 5/32. All right, let's just confirm that they're, yep, protruding on the bottom there. Good and good. Grab the bracket, make sure it lines up. Does it matter which way you have it? I assume like this, so it's more tucked, right? Yeah. Mounting it with this way, it'll extend the license plate down towards the hugger more, and you don't really want it like against the hugger because suspension compresses and it crushes your license plate. So since this part is shorter, I'm assuming you would want that part down. All right, so gonna basically need to get these bolts threaded on with the washer and the little gripper piece with the bracket. All right, so what I did, basically held that with one hand while using this, screwing in on the other hand. Now, you're gonna wanna run the light. Let's get this other side screwed in, and we'll run it through here, right in the middle. All right, now we're gonna rewire this thing. It's basically through the middle right there. Yeah, that'll be perfect. This license plate actually comes like down here. We've got the bracket all mounted up down there. We've got the wiring for the light ran up through here. Basically, we need to connect it to power. They do supply you with these little splicer things, which I'll show you guys how they work in just a moment. So basically, we need to find a line that has constant power, like whenever the bike is on. Seeing as this goes to the tail light, that would be one. Since this one's kind of closer to all the rest of the wiring, so we don't have to run it like as far or anything like that. Let's go ahead and we'll tap in like right in here. So usually black is ground, striped is what? Yellow, usually red is hot, but that is a blue line with a red stripe. So we'll tap in and we'll see if we can get it going. All right, so I chose to trim back the wire looming or the protection back a little bit with some clippers. If you guys do that, obviously be careful so you don't actually cut the line. These things basically, they're gonna unscrew. You're gonna use the big end to push over the wire, then you're gonna screw the top end back in, and then this top piece is going to disconnect and you're going to use the stripped end of this wire to stick in there and basically bridge the connection. So what that does is, as you can see, like whenever I took it apart, there's this little tiny metal piece that sticks in. It's like a really sharp metal piece, sticks into the wire and makes a connection. So then after that, you're gonna take that little top piece off and we're gonna feed this line into here. So I'm gonna start with the ground, which is black. Once again, black is ground. All right, there we go. So that connection is made, is basically spliced into that line without having to cut the wire. And we're gonna do the same thing with the power side. All right, so those are all tightened down. So now let's power the bike on and see if it works. All right, it works. That's awesome. Plenty bright, right? Yeah, that's great, man. Success. All right, so now we're gonna take out the light. Easy enough. And we're gonna replace it with the new light. To install this, basically going to use these bolts. I'm going to put them in through here, line it up through these holes, and tighten it down into the bracket. All right. Since it is CNC aluminum, you do want to like snug it down, but you don't want to over tighten it because it will strip the aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and just snug it down a little bit. All right, so those are back in. Good to go. Tail light is in. Good to go there. Nice and blacked out. Man, it looks good. So now we have to basically install the LED flasher relay. It's going to be here. And so that is apparently under the ECU box, so we got to take that out. There it is. And you're just gonna get that little piece of rubber up and over, pull that up, unclip this one, and plug in the new one. And again, don't want to take this little rubber piece off and basically transfer it over to this one. That's it. Alright, so now let's get the taillight wired up. Good God, this garage is a mess. Alright, so at this point, we're going to plug in the integrated taillight into your main plug here. And then these are going to be your signals. So you want to plug your signals into the previous signals, which were here. Alright, after you've got those plugged up, you notice this one is kind of brown, right? Brown and black. So brown. And then on the right side, green, green, brown, brown. We're gonna turn it on, try it out. All right, it lights up. Brake light works. Indicator. All right, it's flashing on the left side for left, and it's flashing on the right side for right. Awesome. All right, I jumped ahead a couple of steps here. I was just cleaning up wiring. Basically ran the wiring that was all here underneath these little latches. So ran this wire up, folded it back, and they clip nicely under there. All the connections kind of lined up here, and I used it's basically a self-adhesive silicone tape. It's not electric tape. Electric tape with heat ends up gradually like degrading and the adhesive gets weaker. This self-adhesive silicone tape basically adheres to itself, and it's temperature resistant up to like 600 degrees or some craziness like that. So use that to kind of bundle all those together. And then I also ran the wire for the light that's underneath the cover here, the ECU, and wrapped it all in a spool of that silicone tape here as well, and just kind of nicely tucked it in. It's not too taut. It's got some give on both sides, so should be able to mount that to the license plate. I think that's everything. So at this point, it's basically getting everything back together, which is gonna be fun, yay. So you're basically gonna be assembling in the reverse order. So you're gonna put this bracket back on. The hex bolts go here. The Phillips go here. Get it nice and snug down. All right, that bracket's back on. I was really worried about this thing. I didn't think I was gonna be able to get this back together, but I just kind of fiddled with it for a little bit, and I don't know, I just kind of all realized how it all went together. So that is back together, and it is working. So whenever I twist the key, it works. So for anybody curious, I'll just try to explain it real quick. You got your clevis pin here, little plastic like spacer washer here, and a plastic on the other side as well. And your rod goes underneath this bracket. Under this little piece right here, there's a little tiny piece of plastic which you can't see that basically keeps this rod level. And then the spring here goes behind the latch, and on this bracket the spring goes into right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just like a little tiny piece right into there. So that's where it gets the tension, flexes on that. And then this bolts down. There's this little tiny piece, and it fits into, like what you do is you basically put in the round piece, you thread the line through that opening right there, and then it pushes into the other side, and then that has tension and it goes to basically the key. So whenever you turn it, it works just like that. I thought that was going to give me the most trouble, but it actually went together pretty easily, so awesome. On to the next piece, which is the fairing part that goes right here. Right, it's going back together little by little. Got this part back on. You've got two little small push tabs right here, and then a bolt here, and a bolt here. Same on the other side. Also, don't forget to put that one back as well, that little plastic push tab. All right, so the next part would be the back fairing. So you've got those, 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs. And for the rear fairing, you've got the little push piece right here, and you're gonna wanna pull it over, put it over the lip first here. It's over the lip, over the lip right here, all the way down, snug, and then you push inward. And then this goes here. Tighten that down. So you're asking yourself, why do we have extra parts? Well, these went where the license plate bracket was, and these were basically holding in the old fender. So, extra parts. All right, so time to put seat back on. Bolts are there. That should be it. All right, seat is back on. Tighten down. Looks good. Let's go take it out. We'll get some shots of it. Pretty sure there's a drug deal going on in the corner of the parking lot behind me. All right, guys, so this is what the bike looks like without the rear fender. So basically did the fender eliminator, did the license plate nice and tucked in there. We also got that little block off plate right there. All right, we got the smoked, blocked out tail. Oh man, looks so good. So good, bro, looks so good. I've actually been thinking about, just because the blinkers, I mean, they don't really stand out, so it's blinking on left or right, you really can't tell left or right. So I've been thinking about adding like a strip, so like right here maybe, or like inside of here. I've seen a couple of people do them inside of there, and so when it blinks on left or right, but we'll see how that goes. So that's the bike as it sets right meow. We're getting there, little by little. Gotta take a photo, dog. Little drug deal going on in the background. Get a picture of that. Oh man, it's so bright. Get in my pocket. Anyways, yo, yeah, it turned out good. I like it a lot. I like it without the fender eliminator. I like it without the fender. It really cleans up the back of the bike, and that smoked out tail light looks really good. And the plate all nice and tucked down deep in there. A couple people were asking me like, oh, aren't you gonna get pulled over? Yeah, maybe. We'll think of some kind of excuse. Slaughtered. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I know a lot of people do have them, but I don't know. I think there was a motor vlogger I was watching the other day that had it like that got pulled over. But anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed the how-to videos, kind of the first of a few on the R6. If you guys did enjoy the videos, be sure to go ahead and hit the like button. If you guys aren't subscribed already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. Slaughtered. But thank you guys once again for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I do hope you guys enjoy the videos. If you have any questions, be sure to post them up in the comments below and I'll help you out. I'll see if I can answer those to the best of my abilities. And until next time, you guys ride safe out there. Stay vigilant. And I'll catch y'all later. Deuces. Oh, security. Security.